I was miserable as hell for a couple of days. And then a little bit at a time, it's gotten better. I just got a little cough now, and I swear that, it was something other than a cold. It's just that there was no fever, so I didn't get concerned. And it's really funny because a month before they invented this corona problem, March of whatever that year was, 2020, I guess, I was sick like this then, even worse, with fever and shakes. And that was probably the original corona I had. I didn't go to the hospital or the doctors. I just, took a little cough medicine, something to clear my sinuses so I could sleep at night, and slept it off. The fever went away after the first 2 or 3 days, and, my lungs hurt like hell for about 2 weeks because I coughed so much I hurt them. But other than that, it was just a bad, bad cold.
Yeah, same for me. Back in March, I got really sick in 2020. And it was like the worst flu I had, or at least I can remember. Wow, my voice, I haven't talked that much in the last couple of days, so. Yeah, same thing, Charlie, and I felt like hell. And then, of course, I might have been patient zero, but maybe you were patient zero for the original premium high-test COVID. That was the first one. Oh, God. But anyway, now this one's like the little weakling cousin, I think. Fortunately, nobody's dying from it, but people are still shit in a pickle, at least down here in the city. Everybody's losing their minds, so hopefully, people calm down a little bit. I'm still here. You guys are all allowed to laugh at me. If I do wind up dying, I give you permission. I could be the ironic victim who didn't believe. I give you permission to laugh at me if I'm gone. But anyway, I don't think this is going to take me out. W2PHL, sorry to change the topic.
You mean you haven't gotten your 16th booster shot?
No, I never got the booster. My daughter did, and she's the first one who got it. So she gave it to me. She got it from her job, I'm pretty sure. But anyway, I'm done with all that quack science.
I still haven't even gotten the vaccine yet, so I'm still kicking.
Yep, I never went for the first shot.
Wow, there's just COVID all over this frequency. I have a shield in front of my speaker. That won't work.
Well, I'm back. Glad you're feeling better, Phil.
Yeah, thanks, Perry. Yeah, I've been listening in to you guys the last couple of days, and I wanted to get on the radio, and I was just like, because I was coughing a lot, so I didn't want to be like that. Excuse me. But, yeah, no, all good. Thanks for your well wishes.
Yeah, that's good, man. I'm glad didn't, hit you too hard, I guess, but yep, it's crazy out there now. This stuff's pretty contagious. You got to be careful, vaccinated or not. I don't think, I used to be like real staunch on the, get vaccinated, man. But whatever, who cares? If you don't want to get vaccinated, don't get vaccinated. Because I see where, the simple argument, well, you can still get it if you have the vaccine. I can't argue against that, so that's one argument they got me on. Anyway, there you go, Blaine. W3MOR.
They said that, if you got the vaccinations, if you did get it, you wouldn't die from it. Well, guess what? A high school principal one town over from me, he got it 3 weeks ago, and he died in the hospital, and he had been fully vaccinated. Wow.
There you go. What's the point?
That's it. When your number's up, your number's up.
a lot of times the story is similar where somebody kind of like me doesn't go to the doctor and lets it go too long, and then it could become a pneumonia, and that could be a big problem. So, but never fear, I'm on top of it. So I know I'm getting better. But if you're the kind of person, I had a friend who died of it I used to work with, and it was he was a little overweight, he had diabetes, there's 2 strikes there, but he sat in his basement for 2 weeks, thinking, and tomorrow I'll feel better, and it just turned into a pneumonia that was so bad, they brought him to the hospital. Next thing you know, he's on a ventilator, and then a week later he's dead. That was in the beginning. That strain was much worse than what's going around now. So no one is hardly dying from Omicron. So that's a good thing. Usually the way these things go is every time they mutate, they get a little weaker. At least that's from what I've read. So anyway, W2PHL. I had a 58 Johnson Seahorse that my cousin from Holland destroyed one summer. The bastard.
Is Dutch, what do they know about the water?
Is Jim, DHU, still in here? Hey, Donut Hole, you still in here?
Aye, aye, Captain.
What's up, man? I don't think I spoke to you since we met at Sussex. Just want to say hi.
I'm doing all right, Perry. It was good to meet you there, too, by the way. I think I was on this thing once since Sussex until tonight. I've just been so busy, I had to turn the thing on and figure out how to use it again. I'll be very honest with you.
Yeah, man, it happens, man. Well, cool. Good to hear you, dude. Yeah, it was good to meet you. Saw a lot of faces there. It's pretty cool. But I don't have any old outboard engine stories or any outboard engine stories to report on. Never owned one. Never owned a boat. I had a kayak. I had a really nice kayak at one time, a fishing kayak, but that's about as... My dad always had boats, though. We always had boats growing up. And we had a Boston Whaler that had a 75-horse Johnson on it. But this was, I guess, mid-90s. And so it's definitely not definitely not mid-50s.
Nah, you're one of the smart ones that never had to deal with an outboard. They're fun. They're fun to mess with, too. And especially the old ones. You look at the primitive technology. Now, the new ones, what I understand, the new ones are all 4-stroke, and from what I understand, people are not happy with it. They just don't have to get up and go the 2-strokes did. Plus, they weigh twice as much because they got a lot more internal parts and stuff like that. But people swear, the 2-strokes, at least they have, you can sit there, and I sit here, I live by the river, and you can always tell there's an old boat come by with an outboard on that 2-stroke. It has that ringing sound. You hear things wailing away out there in the water. And they just sound kind of cool, especially the old 2-strokes. Because you can actually hear the engine running because the exhaust is kind of underwater, and when they're idle, they just sit there blowing bubbles.
Yeah, they, yeah, I heard they're fuel burners, too. What are you going to do? Maybe one day I'll get a boat. But with fuel prices, I don't think I'm going to get one anytime soon.
You should get a transmitter.
I know. I was thinking about that. I was thinking about you the other day. I was thinking about that.
I got to get that thing out of the garage, so let me know when, man. 'Cause that house is pretty much ready to go. I've been procrastinating, though, because I'm a pro at that.
I am not flying that down to you, Perry.
Yeah, that would be a little difficult, that one.
Well, I thought of loading it in the back of my truck, because my truck can handle it, and dragging it down here, so it'll at least be closer. But I'm like, no freaking way I can get that thing in the back of my truck. You're gonna need a small box truck with the lift gate on it.
Yeah, I know. Or it's somebody with a trailer. You know? I don't know. Yeah, it's just, I'm trying to figure out all the logistics of it all, especially with work, man, because this is the most I've been off since I took vacation, obviously, in the summertime, but yeah, it's hard to find time off, and during the normal hours, I guess.
That's another thing, too. I'm going back to work in about another week and a half, so had a nice 2-month vacation.
I mean, honestly, if somebody else is there to get it, man, go for it. I'm sure I'll have another chance, another opportunity when the time is right.
I think Clark wants it.
Oh, yeah.
What does Clark want?
Phil, I can't get over how different you sound right now.
Yeah, it's kind of sexy, but sad at the same time.
I would say lean more towards the sad side.
There's a perspective that has to be had there, but yeah, get it.
What was that? Hey, Clark, you hear that?
I did. Someone needs to say excuse me.
Hey, do you think I could gut that transmitter and use the parts to make myself a big honkin' lean yar?
We talked about that several times. Yes, you could.
Although I don't think a pair of 4400s would work that great in linear mode.
Why?
I don't know. Someone told me so.
I love it. When somebody asks me why with a question like that, I'll be like, because.
Yeah, good answer. It's been used for decades. Well, I mean, maybe not for AM, but for slop bucket, it would make a killer. Oh, wait a minute. I am, how remiss of me. Now that 11 meters is going FM, hey, you can make a Class C amplifier for your CB radio.
Well, it actually could, it's got a pair modulated by a pair, so if I just tied them all together and made it the modulator and just put 4-400s in there, make that the linear.
Yeah, 4 of them cotton pickers. Yeah, who just keyed up, man? That sounded like something was going to blow up.
That's George.
What's going on? What kind of a noise are you hearing?
Overdrive.
Transmitter emergency.
Overdrive. Back it down.
That's the name of the new TV show that you should start, Clark. Transmitter emergency.
Can you imagine that? Each week we visit a ham radio operator that has a colossal transmitter problem.
I'm on my ICO. I was on the dummy load on the diode detector. What are you hearing or seeing?
My guess is a tremendous amount of RF getting into your audio.
Or a lot of audio.
I've never had that before. I didn't hear it in my headphones.
It's got a little bit of a hum, and but try backing the audio down a little bit.
Yeah, I could do that too.
Oh,
any better?
That's got all the symptoms of RF.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like RF.
Yeah, or low grid drive.
Well, I'm thinking RF because there's the hum, which indicates that there might be a ground not quite right, which would allow the RF. And then every time George talks, it's there, but it's not there when he's not talking. So it's sort of like voice-induced nastiness. That stinks of RF.
There's something.
Oh, the humanity.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, it sounds like maybe losing a tube. W2SDO.
Sounds like a loose mic plug on a woolen sack, reel to reel.
Oh my God, I had one of those.
Hey, Pop. Evening, Pop.
What caused that noise?
When you get a loose mic plug on one of them woolen sack reel-to-reel, it just goes...
Hey, Frank. No, I'm sorry. I'm just mesmerized by what Jim just said, because I had in grade school, the school was throwing out all this, old stuff. But they knew that my best friend and I were like really into electronics and stuff, so they just gave us...
Sweet. I had to sit upright in my chair.
Combination PA turntable amplifiers and old stereos. Everything was tube. If I had half that stuff now, I'd be wealthy, just by putting it all up on eBay. And one of the things was a woolen sack, and it made just that noise, Jim. So I'm very impressed that you have identified that after all these decades. And one BCG.
My tender age, who hasn't had a woolen sack?
I could never afford one when they were popular.
Well, that's why it's good to be a youngster in a school that's throwing one out.
Oh, in the 50s and 60s, those suckers were $300-400. I mean, they were a ton of money. I mean, I had Radio Shack ones and stuff like that, but Wallen sacks, and then those, they were well out of my price range as a teenager,
Now, let me see if I got this right. The two things I remember about it was like white and silver metallic. Actually, it looked like a 1950s car, and it had the push buttons, right? The white push buttons to control what it did on the right, on the top, and then the record indicator. And this is the one that I'm wondering if I'm remembering this correct. Wasn't the record indicator some kind of a neon lamp that would flicker when you got to the just the right level?
If I remember correctly, yes. And they were popular in the schools along with Ream Caliphone. They had the reel-to-reels and some other audio equipment. It just seemed like it was just big with, institutions that were buying this stuff in lots or something like that. I guess they were kind of ruggedized, so to speak.
So that's a reel-to-reel recorder that you guys are talking about?
Yeah, the woolen sack. I can see why schools would buy those. So you could drop that off a 2-story building and it would work fine.
Yeah, mono, of course, mono.
Mono a mono. I was watching Pawn Stars the other night, and they were selling an Akai 747, which is probably the last model of reel-to-reel ever made. The guy got $2,000 for it, and he was talking about how it costs like $400 just for a roll of tape. I can't believe that's the going price for just tape.
A reel of tape? No, it's not.
How old are you guys? Well, I guess Wallensack went out of business in 1972. So it had to be in the 60s that you guys had Wallensacks?
Well, I'm 61. I think when we had the Wallensack, me and a couple of friends, we used to screw around with the thing and do all kinds of neat things with it. And I guess that was probably like 79, 80. And we didn't pay any money for it, so it was probably thrown out someplace. But I just remember them from when I was in school. Those and the Ream Caliphone. You badge the AV team and stuff like that, and play with their stuff.
Yeah, they were very cool. Like a lot of chrome on those cotton pickers.
That's something I've never even experienced.
Reel-to-reel tape recorder?
Yeah, I've never like recording as far as reel-to-reel, but I remember reel-to-reel watching, when they'd set it up in the classroom to watch movies when I was in elementary school.
Well, yeah, but they had a reel-to-reel audio recorder set up when you were watching a movie?
No, the video. You'd set up the tape on the, you'd pull it out, looks like a briefcase, open up the side, the two arms would fold out, You know, you put the reel of movie on there, and you'd feed it through and turn down the lights and turn it on. The thing be fired up.
Oh, that's a projector. That's a video projector, 8mm or 16mm movie projector. Yeah, the Wallensacks were tape, quarter-inch audio tape, audio recorders.
Alan Howell projectors.
Ah, okay. I didn't know what the hell. I thought you guys were talking about. Okay, now I know what you mean.
Yeah, those movie projectors had those holes on either side of the film for the sprockets to pull the film through the projector in front of the projection bulb.
Spacely sprockets.
The thing got balled up and the film stopped in front of the aperture there. The ball wouldn't melt the film, and you had to go splice the darn thing and put it back together and thread it all back in there again.
Yeah, it was. Yay. Flammable, and it would just in no time melt.
Yeah, I remember that vividly in elementary school, using those things. And then we, I guess it was probably third grade is when we started using the VCR and the TV. You know, you have to go down. I always wanted to be the kid that would get to go down and go get the TV from, like, the teacher's lounge and stuff. I get to look in there, like, what are they doing? Are they smoking in here? What are they doing?
Well, that was... Hey, hi, Shane. That was one of the clubs that you could belong to when I was in high school. Actually, Vince and I were in the audio-visual club. And we'd be in charge of it. You would go get and set up the projectors in the rooms for the classrooms and everything, and take care of the projectors and do all the work on them. So we were members of the audio-visual club as well as the ham radio club, Perry.
Nothing got clothes removed faster than that.
Yeah. That's what Jim said. He was in there too, the AV club. I guess there was the AV club when I was in school, but I was too... Kat, you're going to get your ass kicked. Get down off of there. She's knocking tools off the workbench. Come on. You know, I was too cool for that kind of stuff, I guess, when I was in school. But I was looking back on it, I wish I would have done that stuff. My school definitely didn't have a ham radio club. I know that. My school was so small. I only graduated with probably a couple hundred kids.
Well, ham radio, but it was kind of out of vogue by the time you went to school. But it was that stuff was all the rage back in the 1800s when some of us went to school.
1800s.
I'm sorry, George is having trouble with his
Carriers
transmitter.
to the left of us.
Well, that's the old stuff, you know.
What's going on?
It's like the old cars, the classic cars. You always have the hoods up.
PHO.
Something's always working. You know, something's always going wrong or out of adjustment. And even when the stuff was brand new, very repair intensive. I think that's George above us, like up on 3880, trying that thing out.
Yes, that's today's national tune-up frequency, and it's been going on all day.
I hope he gets it figured out, man. Let him yay to his heart content. Yeah, well, I know all about that with my frickin' Ranger and everything. But I run stuff like balls to the wall, and you know, I run stuff hard. I turn it up to 11.
Well, maybe there'll be dummy loads under everyone's Christmas tree this Christmas.
You know, that should be like the #1 ham gift, dummy loads.
I got a great deal on my dummy load. I got a 500-watt Bird dummy load. And this thing, you can key 2,000 watts into this thing, and the thing for a half hour, and the thing won't even get warm.
Yay! I think I got it. Hello. No noise now, right?
No, you got it.
Yeah, it was a loose coax cable, and the octo plug on the back of the set. and in snugly either, so it was one of those two things. I think it was the coax cable rope.
Wow, so that noise coming down from 80 wasn't George.
No, that's Bob.
Yeah, I went
great.
down to 60, where was I, 63 for, I don't know, 15 seconds.
Now, you were, Clark was accusing you of being on 80 QRMing this, weren't you, Clark?
No, someone else suggested. Who said I think that's George? That wasn't me.
I'm only pulling your leg. I'm a troublemaker tonight. Troublemaker. That's me. Well, I'm glad you got it squared away, George. It was something simple. Good job.
Thank you, yes. No, I went down the other way. I'm not going to go up in the window. I went down. There was nobody there. I could see there was no one nearby. Because obviously it wasn't happening on the dummy load. It was always only happening when I was on the antenna. So that's why I'm thinking it was the coax and not the cable into the modulator. But thank you.
Now, there was actually a Vietnamese mobile station on the 3860 that was being interfered with.
Well, write me up. Send me the pink slip.
Let me get the report card out.
Frank and Perry, father and
Do they
son.
still have report cards
to be a
in school?
TV series.
Now, but they gotta have a report card of some type.
Yeah, we're the tag team. We're the sheriffs. We're the Batman and Robin of the frequency. And I put out, I forget how many now. It's 14 or 16 more ground radios today. Now I can tune all of 160. Man, I had a successful day. The noises, it's flat and quiet here now, right? And this is as quiet as it's been in weeks, months at this time of night. So I don't know if that had something to do with it, but everything seems to be working A-OK. I don't think it made any difference in my transmit signal, but definitely made the antenna a little more broadbanded.
That's Bob, KBW, up on 80.
Now getting fussed out.
Interfere with it, so I don't know, but it's good. I'm glad you got your radios down. That's always the more the merrier. Can't have too many radios.
I ran out of wire. I kept putting more.
Can't have enough.
The 10 meters was open today.
I heard that.
Well,
Really? What'd you guys get?
Numbers are really getting through the roof.
Let's see what the numbers are. The solar flux.
Calgary.
Really?
Yeah, it's way the hell over. You think it's just north because it's Canada or whatever, but it was way over by Washington State.
Yeah, it's it. 115 right now. A index of 10. I gotta go in the back of the pan adapter. It's got I got a gray line map. It's an active gray line map and the active sun tracking map, and the sun moves across the back of the pan adapter. Man, it's cool.
I'm sorry. I think I doubled with you for a second there, Perry. I was saying, if 10 was open, that means there's some skip. How about you, skip land on 11 meters?
Oh, I know. I heard all about it. Well, I saw all about it on Facebook.
Breaker.
Man.
Phil, what happened to you? It sounds like you drank a bottle of Drano or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man. Wow. Did you get tested?
Did I get tested? Oh, you should have tuned in earlier. I am officially on the Corona Club.
Are you really?
Oh, hell yeah. Second time. Gotta love it.
Oh, jeez. Wow. Holy mackerel. I wonder how long before it actually hits you that you're actually positive.
All I know is the whole city has it. So if you want to get it over with, come to the city.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. But you sound in good spirits. I guess it's not affecting you too badly, so that's good.
No, it's like a cold. It's like a strong head cold. 2 days with a little fever, and just watching TV. I watched a 6 hours Beatle special, which I can't believe I made it through. I love the Beatles, but by the time it was over, I was like, oh man, these Beatles suck.
I love the Beatles, but my wife's supposed to pick up your neighbor tonight at the airport. Your neighbors. So I guess they've been away, so you haven't been near them, so that's good.
No, but I do still sing out the windows in the morning, so.
And the neighbors feel like what about that?
Hey guys, I'll be right back in a little bit. I gotta run for a little while. W3 over.
Oh,
It's
Mr.
late, Barry.
Softy is outside.
It's not that time of year. See you when you get back.
As long as you weren't like over there feeding their cat or watering their plants.
No, I gotta.
Oh, see you later, Perry. No, that didn't happen. W2PHL.
If you don't mind me asking, Phil, were you vaccinated?
11 o'clock, I think, at the airport.
Where is she coming in from?
I'm not sure. I don't know. It's her. Maureen is my wife's friend. I only see her if she comes over here for a barbecue or... really, that's the only time I think I've seen her, other than our wedding and a couple of little parties, maybe for my mother-in-law or something like that.
All right. Well, good. Hope you have a good time.
Hey, Phil, if you don't mind me asking, were you vaccinated previously?
Well, me?
Yeah.
Yes, I was. And my daughter was triple, and she got it first. So there you go.
How about that?
Yeah, this is probably the new strain. It's a lightweight compared to the first one, so hopefully people will realize that and we'll get back to normal.
Yeah, hang in there, man. Good get over it quick.
Phil, they want to have the same type of things with the election again, so they can steal this one.
Well, she's up to no good, that one, up in Albany. She's already said she's going to, even though it was defeated at the ballot box, she says she's going to go full guns for unsolicited mail-in ballots, George. Did you read about that?
No, I did not. But you know what? If it happens in a blue state, who cares? Because New York's a lost cause anyway. I mean, it sucks. It'll pollute upstate, unfortunately. But I'm more concerned about the red and the purple states as far as the federal. But so I didn't see that. I usually pick up on all that stuff. She's going for it anyway, huh, Hochul?
Yeah, and thanks, Frank, for the well wishes. Yeah, that's what I read. 2 days ago in the Post, I think. She says she's going for to keep us safe. If you ever find a genie and you get a wish to be in charge of safety, because if you're in charge of safety, you could do anything.
Yeah, well, that's what it's all about. Power. Absolutely.
What is with this 3880?
Is he just testing, and maybe you should slide up another 5 kc?
Well, they don't make 48 FET dummy loads. That's part of the problem.
All right, with 10 kilowatt capacity. Actually, yes, they do. What the hell? We had a 10,000 watt dummy load at the station.
Well, when I was one time 40 years ago almost at Brooklyn Fire Headquarters, they had a 55-gallon drum filled with oil with a piece of Heliax. It was probably 2.5 inches around.
I'm sorry if I was interfering. I was up there talking to that guy up on 80 and trying to get him to stop.
Good luck.
Well, I give it the old college try. Hopefully I could get through, but,
There's KBW.
N2LJO.
W2SDR.
KC2DHO.
N. 1 BCG.
A couple of watts. Anyone? Anywhere? W2PHL. There's a station calling. Go ahead. KD2BRM, just testing with some low power. Haven't had the antenna up in a while. Good afternoon, everyone. Afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Berm.
What's up, dudes? Long time no speak. I recognize some voices. I hear Frank. I hear Clark. And I hear some other gentlemen that I've spoke to, but it's been a while. It's Ernie here, Long Island. Just haven't had the aerial on the air in a while, and I'm just running the Anon barefoot. So, just saying hello. It's been a while. Hope everyone's doing well.
Hell yeah, same frequency, same inmates. You haven't missed anything. Don't be a stranger.
Yeah, 20 over, Ernie. Sounded good, man. Nice to hear you.
Oh, all right, thank you. Yeah, just doing about 14 or 15 watts, but yeah, just farting around here. Just been listening to you guys. It's been a while. So, carry on. Thank you for the break. And yes, 10 meters was open. I made a few contacts myself. Not that you care, but I'm just confirming the information out there. So carry on. Okay, all you wayward sons. And nice to hear you, Ernie. Been a while. W2PH. Yes, ditto. How you been?
This space for rent.
You know, my cousin really did that. I rebuilt that 58 Evan Johnson. I went to Bronx Johnson. It was an actual hardware store on East Tremont Avenue. He still had, oh, this is going back a ways. This is going to the late 70s, I guess. So I guess it's not that crazy that he would have parts in stock for a 58 back in the late 70s. That's only 20 years. I mean, when you're... yeah, right. At our age, in 1979, if you start thinking about 1958, that was like prehistoric times. But I guess it really wasn't. So he had all the parts in stock, and I rebuilt that thing. We got it going, and I used it a lot. And then Cousin Dirk came over and decided he didn't want to look for the oil to mix with the gas. And he threw one of the connecting rods right out of the side of the crankshaft. Right out of the side of the, out of the side of the, what do you call that? The piston wall. Right, the crankcase. Oh, there you go. Anyway, he destroyed it.
And that was a bad day.
That's right.
It was a bad day, yeah. Good looking motor, too. It was very Art Deco looking.
Oh man, look at the size of that moon coming up tonight. But it's true, yeah, they don't have that Art Deco design like they used to have. I guess like the old cars from the 50s, all the chrome and stuff like that. I mean, the bumpers on those, like a 58 Cadillac, the bumpers alone weigh about as much as a Hyundai does. But, yeah, that Art Deco. Well, even with the old Collins gear and stuff, you know, had just a little chrome strip or something like that is kind of Art Deco-y, and it's like the old Crosley refrigerators with the chrome handles, you know, the red Crosley refrigerator with chrome Crosley across the front of it and a handle. You knew that thing was shut when you slammed it. Everything's just plastic crap nowadays.
Yeah, I was talking with Clark. I use the term Art Deco too much. It technically isn't Art Deco. I think Art Deco was in the 30s and 40s or something like that, if you want to be technical about it. But Jim, you're absolutely right. It's that motor had fins on it, on the cover. You know, it had like a streamlined look to it. It wasn't chrome, but they were silver painted, and the motor itself was green. But at any rate, yeah, there was a lot of cool stuff back then. They don't make them like they used to.
Rockefeller Center is a good reference for Art Deco.
This is an RCA AR-88 receiver.
You guys hear me?
I hear you.
Hey, Jim over here. I don't know if I'm on 10 meters or 11 meters. Can you let me know?
We're on 11.
Okay. Very good. My name is Jim, and I'm in Lodi over here.
Lodi, home of so many broadcast stations in Jersey. Well, good afternoon.
Thank you so much for hearing me. Where are you guys at?
We're everywhere. I'm in southwestern Connecticut, right on the New York-Connecticut border. N1 BCG, Clark.
KC2DHU here. Tompkins Cove, New York, right around the Bear Mountain area. And Jim, yeah, you come back with your call sign. I didn't get that, but I do have Jim in Lodi. Stuck in Lodi again. KC2DHU.
Hello, Clark.
11 meters.
That station in Lodi, if you're able to come up to 73, I don't know if you can fine-tune that closely. You're like on 71 and a half. We're all on 73, and it's a little tough to hear you because we're getting a little bit of interference. W2 PHL, thanks.
Wow, make the sick guy wrangle everyone in.
Hello, Clark.
Good afternoon.
Phil should probably be somewhere like on 65 in quarantine by himself.
I knew it was a good idea to put my speaker in a plastic bag.
Yeah, throw my bags in a plastic speaker.
Stretch some masks over your microphone and speakers.
Yeah, there's a station in Lodi. Come back with your call sign and your name.
I think he's on 11 meters now.
Is that what he asked? I didn't hear it at first. I was using my sync detector.
Yeah, I was wondering whether he was on 10 or 11 meters.
Oh, was that a dig?
Oh, I don't know. I just, like water on a duck's back.
Yeah, put it on my tab.
Hey, I was rocking and grooving to 7,200 this afternoon. Trust me, this is nothing.
I have to remember to check that out.
Oh, they were rocking today.
That's 40 meter, 11 meter.
I look at 7,200 lower sideband as being like the reference frequency that all others get compared to. Now, people have told me that 30, what was it? 30, no, this is from yesterday, and I forgot. It's 3950 tops 7,200, but I don't know. My money is on 7,200.
Is that sort of like Channel 6 on the chicken band?
Here's the thing. Channel 6 is basically everyone doing the same thing and amateurish. Isn't that ironic? 7,200 is truly how do I phrase it? It's actually the variety is amazing, and the issues are so widespread. It's like listening in on a baby monitor placed in a psych ward during, in a rec room in a psych ward during the recreational hour. I mean, it's truly It's wow.
Okay, gotcha. I gotta make note of that. 7,200. I'll have to listen to that one day. Yeah, I know. It's during a psych ward after Ken Kesey, just slipped everybody full of acid and cut them loose.
I mean, I am pretty convinced that Pfizer does drug testing on that frequency, like experimental drugs, trying to find out what the effects are of human ingestion of drugs which are like a year past their expiration date, and they provide them for free, and then they set them on the air on 7,200 lower sideband so that the scientists can listen from all over the country and say, oh yeah, yep, that drug definitely needs to be pulled.
Hey, Clark.
Yes, sir.
Is Perry out there?
If he's not, I'll do a while you were out pink slip message for him. Perry, you're being paged.
I think his mom stopped by and he's probably eating.
Yeah, or Mr. Softy stopped by and he's gorging on ice cream like a giant mosquito. So no, sorry, he's not around now.
Okay. All right. Hello, everybody. KD2 AFL.
I'll give him the message that Daryl from the American Federation of Labor was asking for him.
I thought he was in the American Football League.
I never did clarify which organization he was with, but either way.
It's me, Jim. Am I sounding better?
Hey, Jim, yeah.
Thank you so much.
What did you do?
I turned on an amplifier and I turned the audio down. Is that better?
I think you got it dialed in real well.
Fantastic. And I tuned you guys in a little bit better, too, because I'm running a Yaesu FT101. So here I am. Good evening.
You are front and center.
Oh, perfect. Oh, isn't that nice to hear?
Yep, that's exactly what I'm running, a Yaesu FT101. What's the call sign there, Jim?
It's Kilo Delta 2, Michael India X-Ray, KG2 MIX, Jim in Lodi, New Jersey.
Cool, Jim. Yeah, KC2DHU here. Yeah, same radio, FT101 and FT101E it is. Probably running about 120 watts to a SDP 1000L Green-Yar, which was made by, who the hell made these things? Special Design Products of Amityville, New York.
You sound great over here in Lodi. I'm just running a 80-meter dive. Wait a minute. I'm not running anything. No, I'm on 10 meters. I got the, what you call that there, the cobweb antenna on top of the roof. You familiar with the cobweb from FMJ or whatever that is?
Nah, negative. I'm running an inverted L here. It's just a hunk of wire up over a couple of branches, which is actually kind of sagged, which all the leaves are off the trees. I probably should get it up and back where it should be again, but I got the river here to kind of help me out just a little bit with my signal.
Yo, what's up? Oh, Snake, yo. All right, what's up? No way. Yeah. Dude, I haven't turned this crap on in a while. I have to look, make sure I'm not going to blow up. All right, I think we're good. Howdy.
Howdy, dude.
Good afternoon.
That sounds like
good
a
afternoon.
PK.
Did I hear Daryl in there, man? That's my dude. Long time.
I guess he went away.
No. He's gonna let that thing warm up.
What's up, Billy? I'm here.
Yo, where the hell you been, dude? Did you retire yet?
No, man. Still at the airport, man. Man, we got about another 2 years of work out there. But I might pull the trigger. January.
Damn, still at the airport. Yeah, well, hey, dude, take all their money. Just do it until you're good and ready. Just take their money, man. You know what you're doing, but dang. Yeah, good to hear you, dude. W2 BTK out here.
All right. Good hearing you. KD2FL.
So which is the radio today there, Daryl? Are you on the gate or the Central Electric?
Well, I'm on the gates, but I'm running her real low. The BC1T. I'm on the gates, the big refrigerator.
Yeah, what happened last night when you came into Steve, talked to Steve QIX and nobody could hear you?
I think something went wrong with the Innovonics, but I think it's almost straightened out now.
Yeah, I was in there listening. I had been talking to them a little bit, and I heard Steve going back the other day. That can't be Daryl. I can't hear him.
Yeah, well, I hope everything is okay now. I'm still working the bugs out of this thing.
It's got a very slight buzz, but it's good and loud. I'm not quite sure if the buzz is, coming from air or getting into the microphone.
Yeah, it could be the microphone. Yeah, well, I took some of the stuff off the T368, running some of the audio gear off it, but I gotta wait a week or two to get some other stuff to go with this.
Yeah, it's sounding good.
Well, I appreciate it.
Hey, where's the guy running your one-on-one?
Well, I'm one of the guys that are running a one-on-one. Jim here, KC2DHU.
Yeah, KC2, I didn't catch the rest of your calls, but I talked to you a couple of minutes ago, right? You're running the same radio as me.
Yep, Roger. Yezu 101E. This is out in the camper.
Well, I got a double with you. I don't know if that makes any difference, but I need some help. Do you know anything about the radio?
Oh, enough. I had a couple of them. I had this one all torn apart and down to nothing, a couple of years ago to do some mods on it. And, I don't know a heck of a lot about anything, but I might be able to help you.
I got a hard time keeping on frequency. Is that, that's pretty much normal, right?
Oh, keeping it on frequency? Well, yeah, well, you got to do an alignment on it. And they do drift when they warm up, and, if you let the thing run for like 20 minutes before you start using it, it won't drift as much. I do use an external VFO with it. What the heck is this thing? An FP101B. This one seems to drift a little less than the one in the radio. But I can switch one to 3873 and one to 3875 and just flip a button on the radio and go between both VFOs to see what's going on. But you do want to spot it every now and then with a frequency counter, because it's not like modern radio. It's not going to sit there perfectly, but once it's been up and going for a good while, they will usually kind of sit there pretty good.
Now Okay, thank you too much. I'll step by and let everybody go back to talking what they're talking about and stuff like that. But thank you too much. I didn't get the rest of the call. KC2 and the rest, I'm KC2MIX.
Yeah, Jim. The name's the same here, Jim. KC2DHU. Kilo Charlie 2 Donut Hole University.
Okay, Jim. Very good. Thank you for so much. I'll stand by and listen a little bit. I usually don't talk on 10 meters. I'm usually on 80 meters because that's where people hear me.
At 10 meters, 80 meters, a few meters away. What the heck?
Roger. Okay, Jim. Thank you so much, and I'll stand by. KD2MIX, KC2DHO73. Thank you so much.
There you have it. N1BCG.
I think his VFO is off by 70 meters. Did I hear that right? MIX, old man, you are on 80 meters. Unless I didn't hear that right. You're not on 10 meters. You're on 3873.
Is that you, COVID Phil?
Boy, you're right. Oh, boy. Yes, sir. I am on 80 meters. I am so sorry, man. Okay. I'll back out of here and I'll just back out. I'm sorry. I thought it was on 10 meters.
Well, that was surreal.
You don't have to back out. And Billy, it's Corona Kid is my new nickname anyway. Yeah, Jim, no, just let you know, you probably got your knob there twisted or something the wrong way.
Well, if you look at the other side of the knob on it, 101, if you put the white mark on that side, it would be on 10C, so it's very possible.
You are correct, 100%. Okay, thank you so much.
I made a worse mistake than that.
Yeah, this is a big learning curve on 3873. Lots of mistakes to be made, but hey, that's part of the fun. That's why we don't get paid to do this. Anyway, W2PHO.
I get paid to do this. Phil, the Corona Kid, sweep the leg, Phil.
I was on 20 meters with a Drake one day. And, I'm tuning around. I said, okay, this is as far down the band I can go because I don't have a license to go any lower. I spun the dial, and there's a QSO and an interesting conversation. I broke in, started talking, and realized I had spun the dial the wrong direction.
I've done that countless times. I'm never really worried about it that much, but I did it countless times.
See, you just need to not have any dials. Like, just a computer monitor. Actually, I hate this, to tell you the truth. But this SDR thing is so versatile. It's cool, but... What am I talking about?
Love, hate, and the ones and zeros.
Ah, yes.
And then, of course, Ranger explains to you how to load up the Ranger radio. And they tell you to put it in the center of the band, which on this band is 3.7. And a general is only allowed to go to 3.8.
Yeah, but that was back when men were men.
And sheep were scared.
Can't move 100 kc with a Ranger without retuning it.
You can't move 20 kc, in my experience.
Well, it depends on the antenna.
We signal on the AM carrier that this morning. it was only putting out 100 watts instead of 125. And I didn't retune it. I just moved down there from here.
Here, Clark, the
Dude, that
Exciter
Ranger's
D-Tunes,
way too
we know you
crazy,
have
and that whole output
And,
circus, it's too much.
you have to retune
Take it from me. I like the Viking 2 output circus. It's a lot more easier.
George, you and Billy passed each other. What did you say, George?
I had said that the Exciter detunes itself. You have to retune that, and then anytime I've touched up the final, it's always been, significantly out. You have to change the loading, or, and or redip it. Move more than 20, 25 kc.
Yeah, maybe more than that, but I mean within 20 kilohertz, it's not that far off.
If I go more than 10, I usually retune it, but I don't usually do that. I usually, if I go from up here down to 3705, or maybe the AM carrier net 3835, and then back up. So the jumps that I typically make usually all require retuning.
Oh, no, and that's the right thing to do. Always retune when you move frequency. I'm just saying that there's a point at which it's like, it's not going to make a big difference. But yes, if you're going to go more than 20 kilohertz, sure.
And then having the rheostat in series, you've got to turn the rheostat on, turn the rheostat all the way up so it's on full power, turn the amp off, tune up the transmitter, then turn on the amp on the dummy load, tune the transmitter into the dummy load, and then I can dial the power back down and be set with the amp again. It's complicated.
I'm thinking of the Ranger's not the one that has a single knob for change. That's the 500, isn't it?
I'm not sure about the 500. No, the Ranger does not. I've got a rheostat in series with the modulator B+, so I can drive the amp from the Ranger. So right now, if I turn the amp off, I'm getting about 15 watts out of the Ranger.
Holy mackerel, that's got to be a mother-sized rheostat.
10K, 25 watt. Chris JBL turned me on to that. And actually, I have the same thing here in the ICO right now that I'm running. And basically, I put it in an outboard box with its own octal plug, and if I unplug the box and take it off, I can just run stock.
Man, that's a lot of gymnastics to do just to use some tube modulator that's inside something. You gotta. Well, everyone hates when I say this, but if you use an external modulator, then you can just get a Variac and dump it on the primary of your plate supply and turn your power down that way. Real silky smooth, not dangerous, don't need big parts. But I shouldn't have even said that. Everyone hates that. W2BTK.
Well, yeah, that's a legit solution. In fact, we were just talking about that. Who was it who mentioned having a Bogan amplifier that they used? Was it an audio output transformer?
That's how I was told to do it.
It's working for me. I did the same thing with my first transmitter. Do you remember who said that yesterday?
And I can adjust the power to anything I want.
Great.
That was a wonderful double.
That was super doubles.
Sorry.
I won't say who I heard, but I heard one of you only. Was that Louis way out there in Nineland or something? Who is that?
I thought it was Joe Biden.
Can anyone hear any better than me? It sounded like it was N9 GTO.
I think it was.
Hey, Lou, what's going on, man? I can hear you a little bit here. You got a good, strong signal. The modulation's a little low or something. I don't know. I hear you in there. Waving from W2BTK. We're talking about whatever the hell we want. don't make me get out the other SDR. I can't hear you that well, Lou.
I think Lou should get a listen line, like a 1-800 number we can call, and then we can hear him.
What?
Wait, what?
You're gonna make me turn on an SDR so I can hear you. Can anyone else? Is anyone receiving Lou well?
The last thing I heard Lou say was the fishing gear is in the kitchen. After that, I lost it.
But I'm not finding your point. Well, I was copying him for a lightning static took him out.
Did lightning take him out?
No, the static.
Yeah, we might have to wait a little bit. I don't know. Maybe we'll get those long conditions where we can really hear Nineland well. I hear you, Lou, but honestly not well enough to converse all that well. I guess you're hearing me well. I don't know how that works. What do I have here? 200 watts of AM carrier power.
That's all I'm doing is 150 watts. I'm on a little leak system tonight.
All right, Louie. Yeah, your 150 watts is doing okay. It's okay, but, it is what it is. I want to talk to you on 27 megahertz. That's where I want to talk to you. Are you out on the Super Bowl? Do you have, a big-ass CB setup these days? Damn. Yo, I had a CB antenna up a few months ago, and oh my god, it was kicking ass. But I had to take it down to put some other antennas up that are that make money basically. So, oh man, I really got to get my CB stuff back together, dude, because I was really kicking ass out there, and then of course, in typical BTK fashion, I got something that works great, and I just take it all apart. Oh, well. It's coming, though. It's coming. I had a lot of fun hanging out on the CB a couple months ago. W2BTK, a general class licensed amateur radio operator who also enjoys CBs. Basically Satan.
Oh, man, that is... You should be in a cult.
Hey, George, you still there?
I am.
W2PHL. I just want to let you know, on eBay, there's a guy selling 50 watt 10K rheostats. And I just got one the other day in the mail. $23. Really good price with free shipping. So if you want to get one, it seems like he's got a big supply, selling in, lots of them. And it doesn't get nowhere near as hot as that 25 watt one. I had a 25 watt one, and it works, but it gets molten. So I'm sure yours does too.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, can you send me the link to that auction?
I'd have to. Yeah, I can't do that now, but I think you can find it fairly quickly on eBay. Just 50K, 10K, 50 watt Claro stat. It looks like the same. It looks like Omite made it. I don't know, maybe they're the same company, but it's a Claro stat.
Okay, great. Thank you. Yeah, sheesh, that's a good price. 50 watt. I think I paid 30 or 35 bucks each time when I bought the one for the Ranger and then when I bought the one for the Ico. I'm sure it was well over $30 plus shipping. So, yeah, I'm going to jump right on that. And I don't know if I should order one or two of them. I never really checked to see how hot, they've gotten or they don't get. Maybe I should. I don't know. Haven't had any problems so far.
Well, then that's good. I mean, I had the 25 watt one, and I kept thinking this thing's going to fail at some point because it was getting really warm. But then I bought a 50 watt, and I think I spent like $50 on it. It was a little expensive. So when I found this one the other day, I was like, well, let me get a spare because the price was right.
Yeah, I just put my fingers the back of the Ranger on top of the metal project box that I've got screwed to the back of the Ranger. And it's not even warm. It was actually cool. So I don't know. I don't know if it's a concern or not. It's still a good thing to have. If you want to do the same thing on a bigger radio, I guess you could.
It's possible that, the more you crank it down, the hotter it gets. And I have mine, I only put like 3 watts of carrier out of the Ranger. So that could be part of the problem, too. You might be running the Ranger at a higher power level.
Yeah, I usually, let's see. I got to switch the meter and turn the amp off for a second. Hold on. Okay, so right now, I'm running about 18 watts out of the Ranger.
Oh, that makes a big difference, yeah. So you'd be just fine with the 25 watt.
Yeah, well, we did talk about that, Chris and I, when he was telling me, what to use to do it. Because I was like, well, how do I do this? There are different ways of doing it. Timmy did it with a switch, I think, in the back. But, it was fixed. It was either high or low, and then you couldn't adjust it. And Chris said, yeah, use a rheostat. And I know we talked about how much drive my amp needs to make, whatever amount of power. And we figured out it's almost like a factor of 10, at least in this zone. So I'm getting just about 200 watts with 18 watts in. So the 25 watter seems to be working for me, N2LJO.
Very good.
I got a 50 watt, 50 ohm, 1 amp rheostat in my hand. What a beast that is.
This thing working?
I'm going to grab one of those things probably anyway, Phil. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I'm going to find the link. I'll send it to you, George.
Okay. Did you get my other email? I was replying to Clark about Chevy people.
Oh, yeah. I read that, but I was just kind of relaxing the other day.
I found the registration for my father's 66 Impala that he sold in 1972. I have it in my hand. And let's see, expires February 28, 1969. That's before the Man Walked on the Moon, before the Mets won. And I was trying to search the VIN number, because if I could find that car, I would try to buy it. My father's car, especially since it was his last car. But when you put the VIN number, I would put the VIN number in on these different sites, and it would tell you invalid, and then you're like, this is a 13-digit VIN. And apparently, like, I don't know, from the mid-70s or the early 80s, everything on was a 17-digit VIN, so they don't do searches on 13-digit VIN numbers.
Yeah, that's a different database. You got to look that up with books, I think. I don't know if that's online, that crap, but anyway. And Blaine, yeah, your transmitter's working.
Oh, it's not Blaine. It's Ken. KC2UDZ. How you doing? I think Phil was in there and George was in there. Good evening.
Hey, Ken, how are you? Long time. Make sure I got it. If anybody knows how to track down a car with a 13-digit VIN number, it would probably be Ken.
Oh, boy. What are you trying to find?
Well, this whole thing got started. We came across this Chevy commercial for Christmas. And there's a 4-minute version on YouTube. And then on air, I guess on TV, they're using a 1-minute version. And it's a really, really great commercial. And it involves a 66 Impala Super Sport convertible that's sitting rotting in a barn. And at the end of it, it's all restored. And there's a backstory I won't go into. If you got to find it. So that commercial, YouTube popped another one up where these two kids tracked down their father's 65 Impala Super Sport hardtop 396 that the father sold when they were kids because the family was going through hard times. So they track down the father's car and they buy it and they give it back to him. So that got me thinking, because when I was a kid, I had a 66 Impala Super Sport convertible that I wish I still had, and my father had a 66 hardtop. So last night I pulled out my keepsake box, and I didn't have the Reggie with the VIN for my old car, but I found the registration with the VIN for my father's old 66 hardtop. And I went online on some of these sites, but they all are looking for 17-digit VIN numbers, not 13.
Oh, okay. I just saw one on Forgotten Projects and something. It's a pretty decent price, too. A Super Sport. I think it was a convertible also, restorable, for sale. I think I wanted $3,500 for it or something. Had a big block in it, I think. 396. 4-speed car. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. I never really paid attention to the VIN number, to tell you the truth. So I'm not too familiar.
I don't know how you track them out.
Anyway, I'll send you the
DHU.
YouTube links for those two videos. You'll get a kick out of it being a car guy.
They try to scan the barcode. It says VIN not valid. They pump it in by manually. You pump the VIN into the machine, and it says, "Oh, we saw this VIN before," and it's good to go. But yeah, I think it's 12 or 13 digits or something like that. But I don't know how you track them out, but it's going back into like a Model A Ford or something like that. And the VIN numbers were very short, but you still need a VIN number to register it. So somewhere there's got to be some sort of database that knows. I know the state of New York. I mean, in DMV, if you give them the VIN number, they can tell you what the heck it is, a Ford and what year it is. They probably couldn't tell you it's a Model A or a Model T, depending on the years. But the VIN numbers were successional. But with the newer cars, it tells you the body line, engine VIN, and yada yada yada. But the older stuff is just not there. I don't know. There's got to be some sort of a database out there somewhere where you can find that stuff. KC2DHU.
Yeah, Mom just called. Dinner's ready. I'll be back, though.
Okay, great. Appreciate it. Well, statistically, the odds of my father's 66 Impala or my old 66 Impala or even my 74 Monte Carlo, which I also found a registration for, the odds of any of them still being in existence are probably, on the low side. It's probably 90-10, 95-5 that the cars are gone. They were probably junked at some point. But, just on that little bit of hope, boy, if I found my father's car, And I remember I was so pissed when I was a kid that my father was 47 when I was born. So, and we lived in Brooklyn, and, you know, there were buses all over the place. And he just decided one day he wasn't going to have a car anymore. He was in his 60s, and I was so pissed because I loved the car. I loved him having a car. I loved when we went out as a family together in the car. And I took the cigarette lighter. I was probably 11 years old. And I took the cigarette lighter and I burned a mark into the bottom edge of the door panel on the driver's side. And if I ever found the car, I'd know it was his. Is that sick or what?
No, actually, it's not. You know, it depends on whether that car stayed in New York. You know, went to Texas. Well, where the heck it went? You know.
But this, you gotta Google that. There's gotta be a way to search
Old vehicle VIN numbers and pump them through some sort of a DMV registry just to see if the car is or has been registered, or if it's not, you know, when was it last registered, where was it registered to. It would kind of narrow it down. It may not tell you who it was registered to, you know, the house address or anything, which people probably move, but
you know, then you probably have to go into that area if you could find
Wheaton, Illinois was the last place this car was seen in say 2002. Take a ride to Wheaton, start asking some questions, see if you can figure it out. I'm sure that's how some people find this stuff anyhow, you know. But you know, they probably have more time on their hands than they do brains to, you know, if you got plenty of time on your hands, I guess you can wander around and do the stuff. And of course, you have to have deep pockets to fund your trip to go along with it.
You probably end up in some junkyard where the junk guy would say, "Yeah, I remember that car. It made a hell of a whoosh when I dropped the bucket of my big Caterpillar on it."
George, let me see if I have it here. I didn't realize you were looking for the exact car. I thought you were trying to, like, decode a VIN to get a similar model. NICB keeps the database. If it were 20 years ago, I could have helped you out, because back then we could run any VIN we wanted without a big deal, and partial VINs, partial plates, and you'd find a registered owner, the last registered owner. So that you could definitely find that out. The only problem is now law enforcement is very restricted in access, unless you have a friend in some podunk police department who doesn't have to put in like a case number to do a run on the computer, which they do now in all the big police departments, because some knucklehead cops would, you know, do favors for their friends, and abuse the system. So they had to put an end to it. But the NICB would have all that information. I don't know if you can get it publicly, but I know law enforcement can get it for sure.
Well, I know it's a problem because, let's say, you know, the car comes back with a hit on it, and they don't have the car, and then they ran the VIN. They got some explaining to do, Lucy. So, no, I know what you're talking about. The good old days, like when I wanted to rent this garage on the corner, 2 houses down from where we lived, and the house was sold, and there was an abandoned car in the garage, but it had plates on it. I went to the guy who just bought the house and said, I want to rent your garage. He said, well, you find out who owns that car and get it out of there. You got a deal. So a friend of mine was a detective in the 6-1, and he ran the plate. I went to the guy's house, told him the story. He came and got his car, and I had my garage. But I know all that changed now. But that's law enforcement. Maybe that's the route to take. Because, yeah, I mean, if they pull an old car over, it's got a 13-digit VIN, you would think, like you saying, what is it, NICB? That's a thought. I'm not going to make it my life's mission, Phil. I had the thought, since I knew I had the registration, at least for his car, my father. I said that would be a hoot if I found it. But if I found it and it was like in mint condition, you know, or restored, you know, I see these 66 hardtops going on eBay for like 25, 29 grand. I probably wouldn't. I'd be able to buy it anyway, you know. I wouldn't spend that money on that. But, you know, if I found it and it was like, you know, all in one piece and maybe restorable for like $1,000 or $2,000, then I would buy it.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot to hope for there.
Yeah, well, also, Ken talking about a 66 Impala convertible, restorable for like $3,500. That sounds phenomenal. That sounds really good. But my wife has planted herself in the garage as far as parking her car, number one. You haven't been here yet, but so I've got my radio room. I'd have to tear my radio room out to have my car on one side and hers on the other. And I'm not agile like I used to be when I was a kid. I can't go climbing under cars and laying on the ground and laying underneath the car and all that stuff that I used to do. And I don't need a money pit to start, you know, pouring money in to have this chromed and buy this emblem, and I couldn't start doing that. But if I did actually come across my father's actual car, I would at least look into maybe getting it.
Yeah, of course. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 13. All right, so NICB has a website, and they offer a free VIN check. And my Camaro has a 13-character VIN, so I just inputted it, and it comes back. VIN check theft record has not been let me read it in English. Not been identified as a vehicle listed in the theft record. So I come back with 2 green checks. I don't know what would happen. You should try it and see what you get back on nicb.org. And see, maybe it'll tell you that it doesn't exist, or I don't know. It'd be one more little tidbit for you.
Mystery.
Yeah, no, Phil, that's great info. Thank you. I appreciate that. I will definitely give that a try. And that would be really cool. But look, I'm a realist. The odds, like I said, are probably 98-2 against it, just based on the age of the car. You know, it's like these old Johnson transmitters. There's always one on eBay being parted out, and one being scrapped. So, you know, the odds are the car is gone. But you know, what the hell? It's like a lottery ticket, right? You take a shot.
Yeah, this is going to be a waste of time. I ran the correct VIN, and I got 2 green checks, and then I just messed with the VIN. I just changed some numbers around, and every time I ran it, it was still 2 green checks. So apparently all that's doing is it's probably just checking against a database of known stolen VINs. So as long as that car wasn't stolen, well, put it this way, if it was stolen, you'd get a positive, you'd know for sure it was stolen, but otherwise this thing is useless, because it's just whatever you put in there, it's going to give you 2 green checks.
That's when alarms start sounding and the head of detective shows up at your door.
Well, the car was in fact stolen in he got it in 1965 when it came out. $2,700, by the way, for a brand new Chevrolet Impala 2-door hardtop. Not an SS, just a regular Impala. So he got it in 65, and it was probably stolen in the middle of 66. And they found it in Chinatown on Mott Street, up on milk crates with no tires, no battery, and they somebody took the trouble to take the AM-only prehistoric radio out of the car, too.
They needed it for parts to fix their Johnson transmitter.
Yeah, it was probably some ham.
Yeah, you know, I mean, imagine those AM-only old car radios, but they found it. It was otherwise intact. They took it to my uncle's body shop. He put a new battery, new tires, and a new radio in it, and my father had the car another, I don't know, 6 or 7 years after that. So if they have a database on stolen cars from 1967, we'll see. But I appreciate the info, Phil.
No problem. Just a few keystrokes here once I got the computer operational.
Yeah, it's weird because the VINs then didn't have all the letters. Like I know the Chevys. If I pull my registration out now, it's like 1 George Nancy, Eddie Frank King, something like that. And this is all numbers except for one letter in the middle, the letter T. You got 1, 2, 3, 6 digits, the letter T, and 6 digits. That's it.
N1XZW.
N2LJ. Is yours, Phil? 6 digits with a letter in the middle and 6 more digits?
W2PHL. I think so. I just put it away. Hold on. Let me check. I don't have a great memory for numbers and stuff. Hold on.
Phil, you don't sound like Phil.
Yeah, it's you saw Invasion of the Body Snatchers, right?
No. That sounds scary.
No, it only hurts for a split second. Yeah, George, it's all numbers except for I've got an N, like nincompoop, in the middle.
Interesting. I wonder what, if anything, the numbers denote. Because I know on the newer VINs, you could get the paint color, I think, is built into the VIN, right?
Yeah, you get the point of origin where it was made, and I think the paint color, I think.
Well, whatever. Hey, it's something interesting to take up, I don't know, 35 minutes here between last night and tonight.
What do you think about... Who's at a computer?
IR.
What do you think about this project, Electrinity? Like, I think it's electrinity.com? Like, what do you think of...
What is it?
I'm sorry, it's Electrinity. Think.
Let's see. It says here. To work together. Electrinity strives for generalizing the usage of electrical energy, which is a more clean energy alternative regarding the developing world and our future in the long run. ELIT develops projects for the sake of realizing